So, welcome officially to our um, college prep success talk, where we will be talking about first generation college student success. Go to the next slide, Taylor. Before I give you a definition, like the official definition of what a first generation student is, can you all either put in the chat or you can unmute yourselves of what a definition of a first gen student is to you? Looking for.
Um,
Okay.
I I think it's like you the first one or like your parent, um, like like your parent completed high school and like you the second person that probably will or something like that.
Okay, you on the right track. You on the right track. Does anyone else? Okay. Kayla says a first generation student is a student who is the first in their family to go to college. All right. That is very, very, very close to what the official definition is. Taylor, you go to the next one. So the official definition of what a first generation college student, you are a first gen student if your parents did not complete a 4-year college or university degree. So if you are the first in your family to go to a college or a university, you are considered a first generation student. Even if your parents went maybe to like a community college or they have some form of higher education, you are still considered a first generation college student. That's the next slide, Taylor. So I am a first generation college student or college graduate. My journey first started, I went to Hazelwood Central High School. I am an alum of the UMSL Bridge program. So I did the Bridge program and I also did some other leadership programs and activities to kind of prepare me for college. So there was a leadership program at Flow Valley. My guidance counselors at my high school provided a lot of different college tours. We had college visits. I knew that I wanted to major in education, so a lot of the different recruiters from different colleges and universities would come and visit the schools, and I always made it my duty to sign up for those. Afterwards, I graduated and I attended Harrisville State University where I got my bachelor's degree in education, and there were a lot of things, a lot of challenges that I had to overcome. But nonetheless, I graduated. After I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I took a break from pursuing and continuing my education. And I worked in different roles as a counselor at a high school. I was an advisor at a community college. So it was really good to give back to students in the same way that, like, some of my mentors and different people in my village helped me. And then I began my journey as a graduate student here at UMSL to earn my master's in higher education. I will be graduating with my master's degree in 2 weeks. So I'm super excited about that. And it is definitely rewarding to be the first in my family to pursue my education. I'm first gen and just breaking those generational curses and thank you so much, breaking those generational curses and starting just a new journey has been definitely rewarding. You go to the next slide, Taylor. So what are some challenges before going to colleges? You can either unmute yourself or put it in your in the chat of what some of the challenges are, of what you believe. Anyone? Applying for as many scholarships as possible. That is a challenge before going to college. Any other challenges that you all can think of? Social anxiety. That's an awesome challenge. That is a challenge that some people face, especially depending on how big or how small a school may be. Maybe you're going off to school and your friends are not going to the school that you're thinking of. That's great. For the sake of time, um, I'm going to keep things moving along. It kind of got cut off from how it's being presented, but I'll just name off some of the challenges. Scholarships, so securing scholarships, finding scholarships, applying to scholarships, knowing which scholarships are out there, meeting those deadlines, having the materials for said scholarship. Also, not understanding the difference between colleges. That can be a challenge for some people. Choosing a school. Some people apply to 5 to 15 schools. So trying to figure out what school is the right school for me, not having the funds to pay for the different application fees. So a lot of colleges and universities are waiving fees to apply for the different colleges now, but there are some schools that still have an application fee. So when you apply to the school, there is a fee that's associated with it, and some may struggle coming up with the funds to pay for those fees. Completing the FAFSA can be a challenge. Not going to schools with friends. So again, you mentioned the social anxiety. Not going to schools with your friends can cause some anxiety. I know that was something that I experienced. Most of my friends went away for school, and I decided to stay here in St. Louis. So there was a little bit of nervousness centered around that, but I think I did pretty fine once I was actually on campus, and I think that can be said to be true for a lot of other students as well. Another challenge could be understanding match versus fit. So match and fit. So matching is like, do they have your degree program? Is it hands-on? Do you have the GPA requirements to go to the school? But the fit, do you fit in at this particular university? Do they have extracurriculars that you're interested in? If you're an athlete, do they have the sport that you want to play? Or if you don't want to play competitively, are there intramural programs there? So figuring out match versus fit can be a challenge for some, and also deciding whether or not you want to play that sport in college. Being a collegiate athlete is different than playing a sport in high school. It almost kind of becomes your life if that's what you're choosing to do. And making a decision of, am I going to continue to play? Maybe you have scholarships that are tied to a particular sport at a particular school. But again, trying to figure out that balance of being an athlete, being a student, it can be a challenge for some people. That's the next slide, Taylor. So there are many resources. There are many things that you can do to prepare for college. One of the first things that you can do is participate in college prep programs similar to the Bridge program. There are a lot of other programs here in St. Louis, but participating in these programs are great because it allows you to explore what you're interested in, what your passions are, what you're good at, what skills do you have. Participating in these programs also give you the opportunity to develop relationships with other people who have similar goals. So you're surrounded around peers who are thinking about going to college, who are applying for scholarships, who are drafting some of those essay prompts for the different either applications that they're applying to for schools or scholarships, because a lot of scholarships have essays too. And so you're around those people and you can have those conversations, bounce different ideas off, and learn about different things that maybe you would not have if you weren't in similar programs. You can also gain information about application processes for different schools, for different scholarships, for different grants, financial aid, and understanding the difference between awards, the difference between the loans that are offered, the Pell Grant, state grants, institutional scholarships versus outside scholarships, workshops similar to this. You're able to be exposed to that. Another great way to prepare for college is to attend college tours. So you're exposed to campuses for the first time. You're able to explore the culture of the different cities, the people that are in the cities, and the opportunities that are in the cities. If you're interested in art, you may be looking at a school and they have a great art culture in the city. Maybe you're a musician and the city that a school is in, there are open mic nights or opportunities for galleries. If you're interested in business, maybe there are like 5 Fortune companies that are there with great internship opportunities and apprenticeships and stuff. So being able to go to these college tours, you're able to see firsthand what these different cities offer, because some cities are busier than others. Some cities have a slower kind of like population, or they don't have as much to do in the city. It's a college town, and so everything in that town or that city is really catered to that school. Another way to prepare for college is to attend the degree program days and major days that I mentioned. So I was interested in education. A lot of schools are still doing this. They'll send a recruiter for students interested in nursing, students interested in business, students interested in geology or optometry or whatever it is that you're interested in. If a recruiter is there for that day, I would strongly encourage for you to go to that, because you're able to ask specific questions about degree programs as to what a typical day looks like, how much do books usually cost, do you all have living learning communities, like am I able to live with other people who are in similar degree program days. So if a recruiter is coming and you know that that's your major, I would most definitely attend. Also meet with your high school counselor. That's your first source of resources. Some schools have a college counselor that's specifically that's their job. Like they help students specifically with scholarships, the FAFSA, applying for schools. So if you have not already started having those conversations with those counselors at your schools, I will most definitely urge you to do so. Go to the next slide, Taylor. So once you get on campus, college has its own set of challenges, but even more so when you are the first person to go off to school, whether it's in the same city or if you are going out of state, out of town. Some of those challenges navigating campus, a lot of campuses may be bigger than the high school that you attended. So learning how to get to one building to another building, maybe one class is on North Campus, and then in the afternoon you have another class in South Campus. So learning how to get around. If you don't have your car, that can be a challenge as well. Another challenge would be understanding university terminology. For example, the registrar's office, having a syllabus, a TA, which is a teacher's assistant, drop versus withdrawing from a class. It's different. Like you can drop a class before it starts, and then the classes start, and then maybe something comes up, maybe your schedule doesn't allow for you to take a specific class anymore, or maybe something personal has happened as a semester has gone on to where now you have to withdraw from said class. Knowing who to contact for support and resources is a challenge that many students often face. Like, who do I talk to about this? Who do I talk to for appeal? Who do I talk to because I'm having an issue with my scholarship, or maybe I was an athlete and I got injured or something. Who do I talk to because now I have a gap to pay for my classes? Or maybe I'm looking for a job on campus, or I need tutoring because I'm struggling in some of the classes that I have, or I need to talk to somebody because I am anxious, or I'm experiencing burnout, or me and my roommate, we're having problems and issues, and I just need to talk to someone. So knowing who exactly to go to on different campuses can be a challenge. Another challenge is getting involved and deciding whether you want to get involved or not. Maybe there's just so much that's being offered on campus that you don't necessarily know where to start, what to do, or maybe you weren't that involved in high school, and now that you're in college, and now that like you're in a new chapter and season in your life, maybe you've decided you want to get involved and you don't necessarily know where to start, how to do that, as well as figuring out how to balance those extracurricular activities if you do decide to do that. Being homesick is another thing, whether you're in state, whether you're out of state, missing family, because as a first generation student, I think that sometimes family members may not truly understand all that's going on, how much you have to balance when it comes to classes, when it comes to extracurriculars, when it comes to your friendships and relationships. So you can miss your family. Maybe some of those conversations that you were able to have with like your siblings or your parents, they sometimes just don't get it, or sometimes they have their best interest of trying to give you like advice, or like this is what I would do, but sometimes there's just a disconnect just because you're the first person in your family doing something that others didn't. So, and a big thing is learning who you are and what your passions are and where you want to be in life. Some of the conversations that I've had with a lot of students that I've been able to work with is just that who you are at 18 is not who you are at 20, at 23, at 25, at 30. And so your interests change, your relationships change. Maybe you go in thinking that you want to do a specific major, and after taking the class, maybe the class was hard. Maybe you took an elective and you fell in love with the elective, and you're like, you know what? I think I want to do that instead. That can be a challenge, right? Because you go into school sometimes thinking you have a good idea of like who I am and what I want to do, but that changes, right? And so navigating that and figuring it out can be a challenge at times, for sure. But there are resources that are offered. Taylor, you can go to the next slide for me, please. There are tons of resources on campus. One being academic resources. So some of the academic resources on campus, almost all colleges and universities have tutoring and writing centers. They have academic advising. They have a math lab. So the math labs, if you're struggling maybe in algebra, maybe you're struggling in calculus or some of those really math classes, depending on what your major is. You can go in at different times, and there are students who have taken some of the classes that are there to help students succeed. And the library. The library is a great resource. Libraries have study rooms. If you want to go study, they have spaces on campus. If you have like a study group, or maybe you're working on a group project in one of your classes, the college library is probably the most slept on resource on campus. Most of the textbooks for a lot of the classes are also in the college library. So if you lose a book, or maybe you didn't buy a book for that semester, or maybe your book didn't come in within the library. That happens sometimes where you go purchase your books and they're like, we actually don't have your book just yet. It'll be in on a specific date, but even if the book is not in, you still have assignments that you have to complete. So the library, most libraries have the books available for students to rent out so that you're able to keep up with your lessons. First Gen Student Organizations, TRIO, is one of the student organizations that's dedicated to first generation students. We have a TRIO program here at UMSL. We also have UMSL First Gen, which is another student organization that is dedicated to first gen students, and with resources, you're provided a mentor, an advisor, making sure that you're meeting those deadlines. Fontbonne University has 1G Collective, and WashU has their Deneb Stars. Student Support Services, the Financial Aid Office, that is the office that you go to for any of your FAFSA questions that you may have, your scholarships, to apply scholarships and grants. If you are accepting or denying loans, the financial aid office is there. And then say you have loans, you have scholarships, and maybe there is still a gap. The financial aid counselors that are in the financial aid office are there to support you, to find you the necessary resources so that you're able to, matriculate on and do well in your classes. The Career Center is another resource on campus. The Health and Counseling Services. Most health and counseling services, because you're a student at the school, you are able to get vaccinations for free. Maybe you're not feeling well and you need to see a doctor or a nurse practitioner. You don't need insurance. You just set up an appointment and you're able to go. And then counseling services, I am a very big advocate for mental health. So maybe it's always good to talk to your friends, but maybe you need just a professional ear to work through some of the anxiety you may have, some of the burnout, some of the homesickness, to really talk to someone else and come up with a plan so that you can continue to be your best self while you're there on campus. And last but not least, the student involvement resources. So getting involved on campus. Most colleges have an Office of Student Involvement. Sometimes it's worded as the Office of Student Engagement. And the staff there in that office are responsible for the clubs, the organizations, some of the intramural sports programs, student leadership opportunities, internship opportunities. So if you're looking to get involved on campus, the Office of Student Involvement or the Office of Student Engagement is the place that you should go. the Residence Hall Association. So if you choose to stay on campus, the Residence Hall Association is responsible for the residential assistants, the residents, there's the director, and they are pretty good at coming up with events to make your home away from home feel like home. They come up with different opportunities for you to meet other residents, other students, your peers who are staying there on campus. And they're there to handle any conflicts or disputes that may arise from staying on campus, because sometimes those things just happen, especially because you're living with people that you didn't know before college. But I will say, my college roommates, I was able to develop like really good relationships with them. And I'm friends with them. Two of them, I've been to their weddings. So it's not always conflict, but in the event that something does arise, the dedicated staff that's a part of the Residence Hall Association are there to help students and then peer networks. Most colleges have networking opportunities, whether it's honor societies, honor colleges, honor sororities and fraternities. There's just a lot for students so that you are successful. And many of these offices and organizations are sensitive to first gen students because they understand that we just have some challenges and we might not have the support that someone who is a legacy, that their mom, their grandma, great grandma, all their cousins, that they went to school or whatnot. As first generation, you might not be privileged to certain information or certain resources, but all of these offices on different campuses are there to help students out. You go to the next page, Taylor. So this is the percentage of first generation students who use the student support services on campus. As you can see, some of these numbers are very, very low, but we want to get this number up as close to 100% as possible. Like I said, all of these different resources on campus are there to help students and or family members so that you are able to get from your first day at your college and university all the way to graduation. You go to the next page. So we are going to take 5 minutes to do breakout rooms. And I'm going to put, it should be popping up on your screens now. And in 5 minutes, come back.
I don't know why my computer acting like this.
Like what?
The presentation, my PowerPoint won't pop up.
What?
I literally, like, when I got it, I had to use, what is this? Let me stop my share for a few minutes since they out. What was it? My preview, because my PowerPoint wouldn't pop open. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, wow.
So, well, yours messing up and so was mine. And then when she emailed it to me, it was taking forever for her email to come through.
So, is it possible? Can you copy and paste the scenarios in the different breakout rooms?
Oh, how? They'll probably have to
By
just
copying it and then put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, I got what you're saying. Oh no, since I can't type on it. Oh, let me see. Let me do this. Let's see if this PowerPoint will load fast enough. Okay, I got into it. Hello?
Meeting is being recorded.
Did you post it in the other one, Taylor?
No, I couldn't leave out. You gotta put me in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is room number 1, question number 1.
Yeah, group 1. Did they get they understand what they're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So they got 5 minutes.
So group number 2. Oh Lord, what are they doing?
I put it in group 2.
Oh, okay. So it's only 2 groups.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to be in edit mode in order to get inside PowerPoint. That's new. But it's all right.
I'm glad we're recording this so that they can send it to those who weren't able to make it tonight.
Yes. Great information. Okay, let me pull up this PowerPoint so when they come back, I'll have the last few slides.
Okay, so we got the answer for our scenario.
Okay, in about 2 minutes, I'll have the other group come back.
Okay.
We all can share.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
When I go to college, will I need my own laptop or will they provide me with one?
You will need your own laptop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, colleges do usually have computer labs and writing labs. So whether that's in the Student Academic Resource Center or the Tutoring Center, most libraries have computer labs as well. There are also scholarships that help students purchase laptops and other things that they may need to be successful on campus? That was a great question.
Okay.
All right, everybody is back. Um, since group 2 were the first to come back, you all want to first read your scenario, or do you, Taylor, can you share your screen? All right, so group 2. Ariel is a second-year student at Chances Community College. She is interested in transferring to UMSL to earn a bachelor's degree in social work. She has 1 semester left before she graduates with her associate's degree in psychology. Group 2, what resources did you come up with? So group 2, your answer was academic advising. Ariel should schedule an appointment with an academic advisor at Chances Community College. This person can guide her through the transfer process, help her select the right courses for transfer, and provide information on scholarships and financial aid. Great job, Group 2. The academic advisor office is a phenomenal resource on campus. It is a great place to start for a first-gen student who is transferring. They went to community college first. They know that they want to earn a bachelor's degree in social work. And so, yes, the academic advisor most definitely is going to help them select the right courses that they need to transfer, making sure that the classes that they took prior to this last semester or second year that she's there at this community college, making sure that those courses transfer over, and any scholarships and financial aid. I hope you all know that there are scholarships specifically for transfer students. So most schools in the financial aid office, there are scholarships that they award specifically to first generation transfer students as well. So there are transfer scholarships, and then there are scholarships for first generation transfer students. Some other resources on campus would be talking to someone in the res halls if they plan on staying on campus, meeting with someone from the social work department as well, and any other of the student involvement if she wants to get involved. There are also, again, those honor societies, those peer networks. But yes, good job, Group 2. You all did a great job of coming up with a resource for Ariel. Group 1. I'll read the scenario first. Jasmine has been accepted to a college 5 hours away from her hometown. She is unsure of what she wants to major in, but enjoys working with children. What did you all come up with, Group 1?
So we think that Jasmine should major in education.
Okay.
And choose a college that's closer to her hometown.
Okay. So what other resources would you all think with her wanting to do education and the fact that she's going to be away at college for 5 hours? I mentioned some other resources outside of the academic advising office. What other resources do you think would be useful for Jasmine?
We didn't choose a resource yet. Can you list off the resources that we can choose from?
Yes. So some of the resources include academic resources, so tutoring, writing centers, academic advising, the library, first gen student organizations, TRIO, Fontbine University, 1G Collective, and other first gen student organizations. Student support, so financial aid office, the career center, as well as health and counseling services, and student involvement resources. So the Office of Student Involvement, Residence Hall Association, being a student leader, or joining a peer network.
The library or academic resources, I think.
Yeah. So library would be a great resource for Jasmine to go and study books, the academic advising, of course, just to make sure that she's taking all the classes that she needs to, as well as getting information. So the academic advising office is a great office when you don't necessarily know what you want to major in. Those academic advisors can start having questions, and you can work with the academic advisor to come up with goals to kind of work throughout the year so that you can figure out what your interests are, what you're passionate about, what you would be a good fit. And then if you pick a major, so you all assign education for her because she likes working with children, what does that look like? And narrowing that down, because education is broad, right? You could be a teacher, you could be a counselor, you could be even a social worker in education. You can be a substitute teacher. There's so much that you can do in education. So going to that academic advising office to really narrow down what some of those choices are helpful. Her also, because she's going away to school, talking to someone with the Residence Hall Association, maybe counseling services if she becomes homesick or need to learn how to navigate certain friendships and stuff, as well as getting involved on campus. Getting involved is a great way to figure out what it is that you're interested in and what you're passionate about. Some people kind of mistakenly end up in their major from a club or an organization that they were involved in on campus, and because they either fell in love with service, maybe they fell in love with bringing people together, a great event planner, maybe they were really good at budgeting a certain club or organization's money, being a treasurer or something like that. And so through those lived experiences, you can learn more about what it is that you're passionate about and what it is that you should be doing. So good job, group one. You go to the next slide, Taylor. We are almost done. Thank you all for bearing through with us tonight and for participating. But a few key takeaways. Please remember, utilize the spaces, the resources, and the connections that are available to you. There's so much out there for students that are first-gen students, and seek out those resources, especially because there are spaces, there are scholarships, there are grants, there are organizations and clubs specifically for first-generation students. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Yes, these offices are there, teachers are there, counselors are there, but if you don't reach out, how will they know how to help you and what to connect you and where to connect you with on campus? Start building your support system, whether that's when you get to college. You can also start that before you go to college. Again, I mentioned those college tours, going to go see your counselors at your high schools, getting involved in these college prep programs such as the UMSL Bridge program. Continue building that support system and asking those very needed questions. Also, build your academic skills. So your studying skills, you may think that you are really good at studying. College is a different beast, and so you may have to step your game up a little bit to really build in better studying skills, effective note-taking skills, learning how to incorporate flashcards or whiteboards and chalkboards and timers, and just different ways to really build those academic skills and also time management skills. If you talk to any college student, one of the most common answers that you'll get if you ask them what was something that they really had to learn how to do, it was manage their time. Time management is so crucial, especially if you are involved in campus. Even if you don't do a whole bunch on campus, just balancing your classes, balancing your friendships, your relationships with your families. Maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to start working, so having a job on or off campus. Time management skills is something that you need to learn how to do. I can honestly say that was something that I had to learn how to do. Managing my time, learning how to prioritize, learning how to say no, learning how to take certain things off of my plate. At the end of freshman year, I was involved in like 7 different organizations. And by the time sophomore year came around, some of my grades were struggling. I was missing some meetings, really figuring out a time to study, figuring out a time to create study groups and actually study with other people in my classes, as well as deciding, you know what, I don't have time for this club or this organization. So time management skills are really, really, really important. Before I make one last announcement, are there any questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No? All right. So I want to plug in our summer academy. We are inviting students to come and spend the summer with us. 9th and 10th grade students, the deadline to apply is May 26th. You can either scan this QR code with your phone if you want to do that now, or you can go to umsl.edu/precollegiate and you can access the application by clicking apply. We have some great things planned for our summer academy. We hope you all join us, and if you have not completed the application, you still have time to do so. So yeah. Again, I am Miss Star, the graduate assistant. Thank you all again for joining tonight. This presentation will be available on our website. So if you want to come back for reference to some of the resources mentioned, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out. And if there aren't any more questions, you all are free to leave and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, guys.